Okay, guys, welcome to Chapter 8, Lesson 1, Monomial Factorization. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor a monomial down to its prime factors. Let's do 24, okay? So 24 is an even number. So when we're factoring an even number, we always know we can take a 2 out of it. So we take a 2 out of 24, we're going to be left with 12, okay? So now, again, 12 is a even number, so we can take a 2 out, leaving us a 6. Even again, so we can take a 2 out, leaving us a 3. So we would say that the prime factorization of 24 is going to be 2, 2, 2, and 3. Now, you don't have to list them from lowest to greatest, but strongly encouraged because it's going to help us out later in this chapter. Okay? So let's talk about how we would factor this if we didn't want to take 2 out first, because 24 can be factored other ways. So if we wanted to take, we know 24 is going to be divisible by 3. If we wanted to take a 3 out first, we'd be left with an 8. 8 factors to 2 and 4 factors to 2 and 2. So no matter how we factor this, we're going to get the factors of 2, 2, 2, and 3. So however you'd like to factor it yourself, feel free to do it that way. I personally like to take 2's out if it's even. That way I know I make sure I get everything. So let's go ahead and try another number. Let's go ahead and try 64. So 64, again, I say is an even number. So it's 2 and 32. Again, 32 is even. So we're going to do 2 again and 16. Factor again, 2 and 8. Factor again, 2 and 4. Factor again, 2 and 2. So we would list the factors of 64 as 6 different 2's. So we'd list 2 out 6 times. Now, we want to do this because later in this chapter, we're going to worry about what is left, what is there. So again, 64, you could have factored that out to 2 8's because it's 8 squared. So 8, 8, and each 8 would factor to a 2 and a 4. So we would still wind up with 6 2's at the end. So what do we do when there is variables involved here? So variables are kind of easy because say I had 30x to the fourth y cubed. Okay, if I want to factor this out, the first thing I'm going to do is split my number and my variables apart. Now I factor my number just like I have been. So 30 is even, so I get 2 and 15. And 15 factors to 3 and 5. So we have our numbers down. So to factor variables, we want to first split them up into each individual variable. So I'm going to split my x's up and my y's up. The fun thing with this is, if you look at your exponent right here, so x has an exponent of 4, we're going to go ahead and make that just 4x's, because that's what that exponent stands for. So we're going to do the same thing with this y. We're going to split it up into 3 y's. So when we list our factors of 30x to the fourth y cubed, we're going to list this as 2, 3, 5, x, 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 and y, y, y. So we definitely want to make sure we list these variables because, again, this is going to come in handy in lesson 2. So let's go ahead and give you one to try. Let's go ahead and erase all of this. Again, feel free to pause any of these videos at any time. If you don't think you have enough time to copy these notes down, that's the beauty of these being digital. So I'm going to go ahead and give you one to do. Let's go ahead and do 42 x to the fifth y squared. So go ahead and pause the video now and try this. Okay, so let's go ahead and review this. We're going to first split this up to our number and our variables. So our number, again, it's an even number. So 2 and 21. And 21's factors are 3 and 7. So we split this up into our x's and our y's. Our exponent for the x is 5, so we're going to have 5 x's. And then we're going to have just 2 y's. So let's go ahead and write our factors of 42 x to the 5th y squared as 2, 3, 7, x, 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 y, y. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get used to dividing these numbers out, but I believe you guys can do this. I'll see you next time.